Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It's Jason Harris here. We're at NADA 2024 over at the iPacket booth with Seve. Thank you so much, man, for taking the time to jam with me. Dude, I've been a fan. You know, when I first heard about iPacket, I first learned about it, I'm just like, man, what an amazing way to tell a story and really make sure that story is consistently told, every single time that a salesperson kind of steps up to the plate. And I love that. I really appreciate it. But I wanted to come by and jam with you about this cool thing the new thing you're doing, the iPacket Recon.
Yeah.
So tell me, man, what was the aha moment? What was like, hey, there's a problem. This is how we're going to solve it.
Well, we've been in this business now for just a little over a decade, and it's kind of surprising to some people because we've kind of kept our head down. Yeah. We grew through word of mouth. We've only done this only our second NADA ever.
I would have guessed that.
So we're a little over 3,000 stores, so we get to talk to a lot of dealers, and the recon problem is something that has been around. I mean, people understand that it's there, and to us. And my family's in automotive too. So my dad owns 15 stores in West Virginia, all franchise stores. And when you're thinking about the recon problem, and also my brother runs our fixed operations, it's really not that complicated of a problem. And when you look at the solutions out there, it feels like they've been a little overbuilt. And I understand why. From their perspective, they're trying to get as much for the product as they can. They got a business to run just like we all do.
Yes.
But I think that there was a way to simplify it down and make it to where the dealers get exactly what they need specific for their store, and then be able to keep the price point, below $500, which is ultimately where we're trying to be. And we feel like there's a lot of value there versus what else is in the market. The other side of it is sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And through the dealer network that we've built, we actually got introduced to Recon Advisor, which Paul and John did such a great job at building the foundation of their product. And they didn't have a tremendous amount of stores, around 100 stores active on the program, so enough to prove concept. So they came to us through a mutual connection that we had, and essentially said, hey, we don't have a sales operation really. We like, you guys got a great reputation. We feel like it could be a good product fit. Will you take a look? So we dove under the hood and looked at the technology they had built, and it was all built on brand new technology. And it was the same code base that our in-house code team, and we've got 20 coders that work for us full time. It was the same code base. So we felt like, man, this is just a perfect storm here.
Right?
We can really build on what they, have started and kind of adapt it to what we feel like Recon should be. So we did the acquisition back in July, and here we are. It's in February.
Yeah.
Most vendors, they buy somebody, they blast it out on social media and do a press release immediately, try to sell it immediately. And that's,
you guys took your time, make sure we kind of integrated in,
We did. We wanted to make sure we had the product right and that it fit, because we've got a good reputation for having great product and great service. We didn't want to roll it out until it was perfect. So we've worked on it for the past 6 months quietly, and be able to bring it in out to the NADA, and the response that we've gotten has just been tremendous.
I mean, the dealers, I've been watching their body language, I've been listening to some of the conversations. They are very interesting.
Right when first day, opening day, we did the post about Recon, and we're also right here by the exhibitor badge booth. So a lot of people were coming through, and we were getting text messages like, "What's up, iPacket Recon?" We see it on the booth. But opening day, we were just slammed with Recon, so much so that we were like, we had to start scheduling demos for the next day, and then for today, which we still have them going on here at the booth, and we're an hour away from
I know, we're getting to closing,
down,
and you guys are still kind of jamming away.
We're still busy, so we've been very fortunate, and like I said, it was just a great product fit. It all come together. I really love the code base, and this business, it all starts with the product, and then it's the people in the service, and they got the product just perfect. And we've already got the people in the network, so we're really excited to show it to our dealers. We think it's going to be a great solution.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about some of the differences, because there is some competition out there, right? I mean, but I like kind of I think the simplistic approach that you guys have taken, right? But I mean, that comes from a real, true understanding of the operations and what's going on there. What kind of sets your guys' solution apart from some of the competition that's out there?
That's a great question. So when you look at the other solutions out in the market, one thing that we noticed was all of them have the ability to be able to customize. Recon has stages for the car to move through, and everybody's got those customizations.
It's all about process. It's all about process.
We try to bring the simplicity to it, but we can get it as complex as the dealer wants. So it's more customizable than it is just straight simple.
Yes.
So we can adapt it to the dealership and to the groups at levels that I've not seen out there in the network. The group reporting and the way that you can move throughout the group application, and being able to jump from store to store and then be able to manage the recon from store to store and have them on kind of a force ranking inside of the system is better than I've seen. So the way that it operates with groups, it was really built for groups first.
Okay.
Some of the clients that they had, I mentioned they had around 100 stores. Majority were groups.
Well, and it's connecting all these little islands together, right? Because when I think of reconditioning, it's just like I have all these individuals, all these different little islands that need to kind of effectively connect to each other, right?
Yes.
And even more so at a group level, right?
Yes, definitely. And they built their product originally kind of for groups, so it was formatted that way, and we really like that because we've got a lot of large groups that we work with. So the group reporting was second to none. The customization that they built into the product, I mean, everything down to logos and colors. I mean, you can, and even the layout of the user interface itself. So It's just customization that we haven't seen. The other thing that we did is, I mentioned we've been at this for about a decade, and we've got over a decade's worth of DMS data that we've been able to pull from our dealer network, and we house for our dealer network. We built machine learning that allows us to look at all of the ROs that we've pulled on every car that we're displaying inside the packets for the dealers to help prove their reconditioning value to their customers now. So we built some machine learning that went out, looked at all the ROs from across our network, and built what we call the ARC. So that's your average recon cost.
Okay. Yep.
So that way, the reconditioning, a lot of people think that it's, or the other vendors, when you hear it, they talk about it starts whenever you acquire the car. It's not really the truth. It actually starts at the appraisal.
It does.
Because when you're doing an appraisal, you kind of make the decision there as a manager that you're looking at the value of the car, you're looking at the auctions, you're looking at comps, but you're going to kind of know right there, am I going to retail this or not?
And you're making the best educated guess that you possibly can, right? And
you are.
maybe this is the dealer principal hat coming back on, but like I would hire my used car manager, just by that talent, and I would say sometimes it would be I feel like, but you guys, you're arming them with some amazing data to allow them to make some very educational decisions, and that's a confidence builder. That's a huge confidence builder. It definitely is,
especially on their non-brand cars. So, if you're a Ford dealer, my brother's he makes the calls for all of our dealership group back in West Virginia, and you give him let's just say a 2020 Mercedes-Benz C-Class, it's going to be a CPO. He can make that call in his sleep. He knows exactly if he's going to keep it or not. He knows when he could approve recon or when there's an issue that's going to be too large to where it doesn't make sense. You need to wholesale it. He knows that. So kind of arming ourselves with that knowledge, we said, okay, we need to be able to build stage automation and rules into the system that allow our dealer network to say, hey, if the car meets these kind of criteria or the inspection comes in under the ARC, auto approve this and get it moving. It was one thing that, in our previous recon tool that he had used. He's like, I'd get busy at the lot. I'd be working with customers. I'd be, taking calls from customers, be, calling trades, whatever the case. Then I wouldn't get to my recon system to check and make my approvals maybe for 24, 48 hours. Of course. And the majority of them were stuff that should have been approved anyways. It was just waiting on me to click the button. That stuff, I should be able to set rules and say, hey, if it's under ARC and it's going to be a CPO, and I can go ahead and set it right when I'm pulling the sticker through our system in the appraisal, why are we making this car get held up and wait on approval? It should be auto approved. So our goal is
But I think the coolest part is the customization of that, right? Just so everybody out there watching and listening, this is not just a out of the box predefined process. I'm able to kind of customize that to my operations and hopefully what my objectives are.
100% customizable. And that's the biggest thing. And I say that you hear that word a lot, that it's customizable. And in most cases, it's actually just kind of cookie cutter. They're able to move a couple things around, but this is truly a customizable system. And I come from a dealer background. I know that it's important to the dealers because every recon process is different. You got some people that are doing, it's a store by store. Some people are using third-party vendors. We built that into the program as well. And some people are doing recon centers. So there's a lot of different ways to set these things up. But we wanted to bring that level of customization to it, but also bring that machine learning, AI, and stage automation to take the human element out of it where we can. You take it out where you can, but then also put it back in for the assistants. Definitely.
So it just makes a stronger, faster, more efficient process.
It enables you to make better decisions with better information, which is ultimately what Packet's all about, anyways,
100%.
for the consumer. But from our standpoint, it felt like a perfect product fit. They had done a really good job at building a great foundation, and we were able to build on that, and now we're ready to show our network and beyond.
I'm so excited.
That comes in at a price point that's very competitive.
Very, very competitive. Hey, you guys heard it here. You guys need to check out iPacket Recon. If you guys are looking to create a more efficient process, all right, give your team the confidence that they need, to really kind of test out, their knowledge. Dude, what an amazing product. Hey, Seve, thank you, man.
Jason,
so much. This is really fun. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you, everyone.